Triple HL. Triple HL, we the light in the veil, leaf full of legends that be breaking the spell. Down by law, yeah, the mission prevail. Mic in my fist like I'm swinging for braille. Triple H, yeah, this ain't fiction to tell. Real ones rising, we ain't built to derail. Every rhyme coded like a message in braille. It's that call to the lost from the ones who won't fail. Let's go. They call me DJ U, not just spinning the wax. Architect is while I'm flipping the facts. League of my own, but I'm never detached. Triple HL and the cape stay strapped. Started with a vision, now we building a pack. Mayhem brought the fires, eye goes brought the axe. Calvin see the world with that bling well tack. And universe been beats like time collapse. This ain't no gimmick, this is purpose and growth. Bar for bar, I baptize quotes. Move like monks with a message they want. In the game full of clout, I still aim for the soul. Let me break it down, mayhem. Move militant chaos to clarity. Right with a blade, got verbs for disparity. Used to be wild, now we channel that energy. Script for the youth like a verbal therapy. Then there's Zygos, dangerous by name and by practice. Raps like revolutions, wisdom on axis. Move through the matrix when knowledge is atlas. Freeing all minds from the corporate distractions. Calvin bling well. Style sharp as a lens. Turn pain into portraits with a pad and a pen. See the light in the struggle, got a gift to ascend. He don't just see through, he see where it been. Then there's DJ Universe, turntables cosmic. Crack open rhythms like the vinyl's a prophet. From the loop to the stars, he connecting the logic. Dropping jewels in the static while the bassline knocking, yeah. This the Hero League, not a rap click gimmick. Every track laid down like a vow, no limit. Legacy's the mission, ain't no fame in the sentence. We make conscious kinetic, not passive aesthetic. I seen system fail, but the spirit stay floating. Took trauma and wrote it, now the anthem stay quoting. Triple HL, we the force that's awoken. Spoke for the voiceless, now the silence is broken. Every bar blueprint, every rhyme is a key. From the cipher to the streets, we designing the free. No saviors, just builders, laying bricks on the beat. To the youth, write their names where the legends repeat. Triple HL, we the light in the veil, leaf full of legends that be breaking the spell. Down by law, yeah, the mission prevails. Mic in my fist like I'm swinging for bread. Triple HL, this ain't fiction to tell. Real ones rising, we ain't built to derail. Yeah, every rhyme coded like a message in braille. It's that call to the lost from the ones who won't fail. Triple HL. Triple HL, this ain't fiction to tell.
Yo, peace. Welcome back to the Dream Hustle Podcast family. It's DJ Universe in the chair, coming at y'all with an episode that, I'll be honest, is real close to my heart. See, while everybody else is out here prepping for Thanksgiving, mac and cheese in the oven, football blaring, there's a whole side of this season that don't really get talked about, at least not at my grandma's old table. Because the truth is, my story, our story, it didn't start with me chasing music dreams in Ohio, or even the Road to Legacy tour. It actually goes all the way back to my grandfather's grandmother, yeah, my great-great-grandma, who was a full-blooded American Indian. I always heard whispers about her when I was a kid. Family photos, nobody could really identify. Stories from my granddad that didn't quite fit with all the pilgrims and turkey stuff you get taught in school. That legacy, man, it's in my veins, whether I'm DJing these clubs or just sitting with my thoughts. I still remember sitting in my grandma's living room during Thanksgiving, folks arguing over the Lions game, while my granddad's voice would cut through, real low, telling me about his grandma and what life was like for our people before Ohio was even a state. He'd talk about what getting through a cold winter meant when you only had the clothes you made, when you spoke a language nobody outside your house even cared to hear. I didn't get it all back then, but it started planting seeds, like deep ones, about who I am. That's why, for a lot of us, the holidays are messy. Some folks are celebrating survival. Others are mourning loss. And sometimes you're kind of both at once. Ancestry ain't just something you see on a DNA test. It's what makes you dig deep, even if the world wants you to forget. And for real, it's why we gather here on this podcast. Because dreams, legacy, whether you're talking beats, family, or truth, it all starts with bloodline. And, that brings me right up on what today's all about, the National Day of Mourning. You might have heard of it, you might not, but it was Indigenous activists, starting with Wamsuta Frank B. James in 1970, who straight up said, "Enough. This celebration y'all call Thanksgiving, it doesn't tell the real story." Instead, they held a gathering in Plymouth, Massachusetts, to mourn, to protest, but also, this part is easy to miss, to heal. See, National Day of Mourning became this tradition, not just to hold up the pain, but to demand Indigenous visibility and justice. It's kind of wild, like we got this holiday that's full on food and family, and then, on the flip, there's this whole movement saying, remember the truth. Real talk. It's complicated when you're holding two truths at once, pain and pride. For me, navigating that space is ongoing. I love being around my family, sharing a meal, but a part of me is always wondering who's missing from the table. That's how I move through this journey, honoring resilience but refusing to ignore what got erased. If you're going through that same emotional push and pull, just know you're not alone. The movement started as protest, sure, but it lives on as a call for healing, to be seen, heard, and respected. We gotta keep asking, how do we show up in spaces that want to celebrate, when our history might be the reason there's even a table at all? All right, now, I gotta break down this whole Thanksgiving myth while we're here. Because what they teach us, pilgrims and native folks sitting together all happy, that's a straight-up myth. The real history is way heavier: colonialism, stolen land, forced erasure of not just people but languages, stories, and whole cultures. When my teachers skipped over the ugly parts, I started asking dangerous questions like, but what about my own family? What about the communities still here? Shout out to all the Native educators, artists, and even parents out here working to get the truth into classrooms, especially in November, when those paper feathers and construction paper hats start popping up everywhere. That's why I want to mention Frank Wan's essay in The Guardian. My family's Thanksgiving on the reservation is a rebuke to America's colonialism. If you haven't read it, he lays it all out. How for some families, Thanksgiving ain't a time for gratitude. It's a reminder of all that's been lost and what's still being fought for. But here's where it turns. Native voices aren't just mourning, they're reclaiming the story. Through media, music, straight-up activism. That push to be heard is powerful. I mean, for a lot of us, telling the truth is the only way to heal. So, speaking of voices getting erased or sometimes twisted, let's get real about Native musicians and how tough it's been for them in the industry. There's always been underrepresentation, not enough recognition, and wild stereotypes in music and media. But despite that, there's legends who fought through: Buffy Sainte-Marie, Oneida vocalist Joanne Shenandoah, Redbone blowing up with Come and Get Your Love, and Robbie Robertson of the band. Dude put Native narratives front and center in his music. You ever listen to Buffy Sainte-Marie's Universal Soldier? It's a protest song that still hits today. These are artists breaking barriers, using their platforms for more than just a good sound. Then you got cats like Superman. If you haven't seen him, go check him out, who mixes traditional dance with modern hip-hop, performing in full regalia, using turntables, powwow drums, everything. He tackles racism right there in the spotlight, but it's about sparking hope for Indigenous youth, too. Growing up myself, there wasn't a lot of role models who looked like my people. Representation isn't just nice to have, it's survival. That's why this new generation is so dangerous to the status quo. They're throwing open doors that have been locked for way too long. So, what does it mean to build a better future? What does legacy look like when you're both an artist and an advocate? You know, Native music's always done more than entertain. It's been protest, it's been healing, and it's been a call to action. I think about the American Indian movement of the 70s, songs that became rallying cries, carrying the spirit of resistance. Fast forward, you got Frank Waln dropping Oil for Blood, calling out environmental damage from pipelines and standing up for the land. Music and activism, they ain't two separate things, they walk together. There's Native-led festivals now, like the Gathering of Nations Powwow, and artist organizations and independent labels dedicated to lifting up Indigenous talent. And let's not forget, you supporting these artists, streaming, buying tickets, reposting, it matters. Each track, each event, each organization is building blocks for generational healing. Wake up to that. Look, we all play a part, big or small, and it starts by actually listening to what these creators have been screaming for generations. I want to take a second to talk about what I call culture as medicine. Y'all ever feel that vibe from traditional drums or a flute, how it grounds you, brings calm when the world's got your brain buzzing? Traditional sounds, ceremonial drumming, the way a wooden flute just floats through a room, they aren't just pretty, they're healing. I've had the wild blessing of linking up with Indigenous musicians here in Florida, collabs where we mix my hip-hop beats with their spiritual storytelling. Man, something about sitting in a circle with folks from different backgrounds, the drum in the middle, a beat building up, no words for it, just connection. These stories are sacred, but they're also evolving. Take Powwow Step by A Tribe Called Red, right? Powwow mixed with electronic. Blows my mind every time. Or Lightning Cloud, Superman, Frank Waln, Pookie G. They're bringing Indigenous and contemporary hip-hop together, making something brand new that still honors the old ways. That's innovation. That's medicine. It's not about copying riffs or appropriating vibes. It's about partnership, a deep respect that heals, not steals. Here's the point, fam. We are the ancestors of tomorrow. Every step we take, it's for the next ones up, just like our elders did for us, whether we ever met them or not. It means fighting for accuracy in culture, supporting Native voices, and working together, not grabbing what ain't yours, but building bridges. I gotta mention how proud I am that our Legacy Makers docuseries hit that $20,000 goal, but this ain't the end, it's just the lane opening lap. I want y'all to support Native organizations that protect land, preserve language, keep those traditions alive. Stream Indigenous artists, push for more teachers telling the real history, show up at Native-led events. Even if you're learning, you belong. It's on all of us to keep that work moving. Let's remember, honoring our ancestors doesn't mean sitting in silence. It means hustling with intention, with heart, and being loud when it counts. Stay tuned, because we got more episodes, more stories, and a whole lot more road ahead. Always remember to be dream hustlers. Keep hope alive, and keep building that legacy. Teamwork makes the dream work, and hustle is the muscle that moves mountains. So, on that note, until the next episode, blessings, gratitude, and one love. Peace.
This is more than a story. This is legacy. From the ground up, I rise. Legacy maker, legacy. I'm a legacy maker. Breaking chains, no faker. From the dirt to skyscrapers. Grind sharper than razors. Rags to riches in motion. Devotion, my flavor. Legacy on my chest. Now watch me engrave. Scrape pavements,
Midnight cravings, mind braving through storms and standoffs. Faith kept me saving every dream I could dream, every vision I scheme. Now I'm front page steam, Doc Yowzery's on the beam. They see me now, the glow from nothing to portfolio. Trials forge the soul, eat scars, a free throw. Rising sky with goals, coated on my marrow from shadows to cameras. This life's no cameo.
Watch the transformation.
I flip struggle into currency, pain into legacy. Don't you tell me my ceiling's the sky, nah, I bury it deep.
I'm a legacy maker. I'm a legacy maker. Breaking chains, no faker. From the dirt to skyscrapers, grind sharper than razors. Racks of riches in motion. Devotion my flavor. Legacy on my chest, yes. Now watch me make it.
Now I'm stitching seams in apparel, thread lore where apparel logo reads. I'm a legacy maker, proud. Universal line born from lessons. Each stitch a confession, weigh your test, no digression. It's status expression. The world peaked the series, legacy makers premiere. How I balanced insiders and outside of fears. Features on the rise, insights within the prize. My story's got prize, truth look in my eyes. Legacy's a movement, every step's a blueprint. Make, break, forge faith, this ain't just fluent. I made it out the gutters, pay dues in the clutter. Now I'm the son of the struggle, shining like no other.
I'm a legacy maker. Breaking chains, no faker. I'm a legacy maker. Breaking chains, no faker. I'm a legacy maker. Breaking chains, no faker. From the dirt to skyscrapers, grind sharper than razors. Racks of riches in motion. Devotion my flavor. Legacy on my chest, yes. Now watch me engrave her. Legacy maker. Legacy maker.
This is my story, written in victory. Suno. I let the anthem play.